Welcome to the ClubRunner video tutorial series. In this episode, we'll learn how to quickly create a bulletin using a pre-existing template. This is a three-step process. First, we'll learn how to create a blank template that will be copied each time a new bulletin needs to be made. Then we'll learn how to quickly add content into the copied bulletin. Finally, we'll cover sending and archiving that bulletin. First, let's look at the creation of the template. You'll create this template just once. This is the file that will be copied each time a new bulletin needs to be created. First, log into your ClubRunner member area. From there, click the Bulletin tab and then click Manage Bulletins. This brings us to the Bulletin List page. To create the new bulletin, simply click the Create New Bulletin button located here. Before filling the bulletin with information, we'll need to define some settings. First, we'll need to give it a name. We'll call this Bulletin Template. Make sure this bulletin template is not visible on the website, so visitors will not be able to see it. Now, let's consider the content. The template you choose will determine how the bulletin looks in terms of content placement. You can always change this later. For now, we'll select a fairly basic template. If you use the website designer, this page will look familiar to you. If not, there are three main sections to any bulletin: the bulletin banner, the main content of the bulletin, and the bulletin footer. We'll start by choosing a banner. Click on the bulletin banner. You are now in the bulletin banner library, where you can select an existing banner by clicking on Activate this banner, or you can create an entirely new banner. Let's select an existing banner. Click on Activate this banner. Then click on Go Back. We'll do the same thing with the footer. We'll choose a pre-existing footer from our library for now. To do this, click on the footer. Now select the footer you wish to use and click on Activate this footer. Again, you can create a new footer if you wish to do so. Click on Go Back. Now let's get to the meat of the bulletin, the actual content. As with the website designer, content is placed in the form of widgets. The orange tabs to the left contain all the various widgets that can be dragged into the main bulletin content window. The most important widget for the bulletin is, not surprisingly, the Bulletin Stories widget. You'll find it under the Essentials tab of the widget menu. Simply drag and drop the widget into place. Now we'll switch to the Events tab and add the widgets that display upcoming events and special speakers. Again, we just drag and drop these widgets into place. You may certainly add any other widgets you like, but this is a simple start. When the basic elements are where you'd like them to be, you can preview the bulletin. You'll notice the main column is blank. This is because we've not yet associated any stories with this widget. You will add stories to the widget with each new bulletin you create based on this template. If you're satisfied with the layout of the bulletin, now click Go Back. Remember, this is just the template for future bulletins. It won't appear online, and the preview does not display the content. We'll be adding that as we create new bulletins based on this template. If you're satisfied with it, click Publish Bulletin, and the template is ready to be used. On the bulletin page, you'll see the bulletin template listed. This file is ready to be copied, and you won't need to make the template again. This step is important because from now on, this is the step you'll begin from. Now we'll take that template we created and turn it into an actual bulletin. These are the steps you will follow if you want to make a bulletin using the bulletin template. Click the Copy button to make a copy of the template. We're now back at the Bulletin Properties page. First, you'll need to give it a new name. To make things simple, we'll just give it today's date, but you may name it anything you like. Next, you can set a date for the bulletin. This defaults to the current date, but you can set a date in the past or future if you desire. Make sure Copy Bulletin From has Bulletin Template selected, since this is the template we're starting from. To find out more about groups, you may view our more advanced bulletin videos. Click the checkbox beside Visible on Website. Make the access level public. In the editor name, you can enter your own name or the name of the person in charge of creating your bulletins. The email field is automatically populated from their profile information, but you can change it as needed. Leave the content template as it is. and click Next. We've kept our bulletin fairly simple, with the news content in the main section and upcoming events and speakers in these areas here. You can add all the new content by editing the Bulletin Stories widget. Simply hover your mouse over the widget and click on the pencil icon. On the screen, we can add any content we wish to the Story widget. You can choose to create a new story, or pull an existing one from our story library. In this case, we'll create an entirely new story. Click the Create New Story button. First, your story will need a title. This will serve as the headline of the piece and will also be the name of the story in your story library. The permalink is automatically generated and serves as a direct web link to the story. However, you can change this as you wish. The author field contains the name of the person who wrote the story. You may also use these checkboxes if you wish to display the author's name, the date, and a social media share bar within the story itself. You have the option to upload a thumbnail image to associate with the story using this upload link here. In the Story Brief field, you may enter the first few sentences of a story or a short description of the story. This is a sort of preview for the piece and allows you to save bulletin space by linking from this brief to a full version of the story on a separate page. Then enter the complete text of the story in the Story Content field. Use these toolbars above the editing fields to change the font and text styles or to insert photos, links, and other media. When you're finished, click Save. We will explore this editor in more depth in another video. I'm going to take a few moments to enter in an already complete story. Welcome back. Now all the story details have been entered. Simply click Save. You will be asked to confirm where you wish the story to be displayed. It is automatically displayed in the current bulletin, but you can also choose to list it in the Homepage Stories widget and the Story List page. Click Confirm when you're done. Your story is now associated with the Bulletin Story widget. You can edit it or remove it with links under the Actions column. Now let's go back. Here we can preview the bulletin or go ahead and publish it. We'll take a quick look to make sure everything looks good before we go live. As you preview the bulletin, you can see all the elements we put in place with the designer interface. Once you've confirmed the bulletin looks good, now click Go Back. Click Publish. You'll be asked to confirm this decision. This brings you once again to the bulletin list, where you'll see your new bulletin has been added to the list of bulletins. Now we're ready to send it and then archive it. Click the Send Bulletins button. Enter your email subject. It should be something short and sweet that clearly identifies the content of the email. We don't want our members confusing the bulletin for spam. Next, use these checkboxes and drop-down menus to select the recipients of the bulletin. Click a checkbox to send email to everyone in that given category. You can expand a category by clicking the arrow to reveal additional subcategories. In this example, you could select active members or only honorary members, or both. To be even more selective about who you're sending an email to, click on the Expand List link next to the appropriate category. A pop-up window appears, containing a list of every member within that category. Click the checkboxes next to the name of any members you wish to email. When you're finished selecting members to email, click Done. In Step 3, we have the option to schedule the bulletin. You can choose to send it immediately, or click Schedule to set it at the date and time you determine. If you schedule the email, you can enter in the date you wish it to be sent, as well as the time. You also have the option to send the bulletin to yourself first before sending it on to everyone. This is a good way to ensure the bulletin displays correctly in your email program. If the bulletin looks good, in step 4, click on the checkbox to automatically archive it. This will automatically archive the bulletin after it's been sent out. Archived bulletins can no longer be edited. Archived bulletins are also visible in the Bulletin Archive page on your organization's website, if you have that page set up. For more information on archived bulletins, please refer to some of our other bulletin videos. Now click the orange Send button. Congratulations! You've just completed sending the bulletin. If you click on Edit Bulletins, you should now only see the bulletin template. Your bulletin is in the archive. This means next time you're ready to create a bulletin, you can begin directly from the template. If you would like to view your archived bulletins, at the left side of the screen, under the eBulletin 3.0 heading, click on the Archive Bulletins tab. Here you may view and manage your archived bulletins. That's all for today. Join me again to learn how to get the most out of your website.
Impulses are sent through the telephone lines back to the LA Times, where a similar machine is there, and the copy comes out of the machine back at the Times.